Hi folks, welcome back to another video. This week we're going to be focusing on this particular Jeep model that we've been working on. Again, this is another conversion from a cheap kids toy into a sort of Mad Max themed apocalyptic vehicle or road vehicle. This one, I'll just give it a little spin around for you. This is one we've been working on. It's still not quite finished yet, but I will go through the details and what we've added, etc. So again, this came, I think this was about sort of €8 or €9, just came in a cheap box. There was lots of other plastic parts that were sort of strewed around the actual model, which we've now dismantled and added different parts. And the reason for that is they were sort of cheap and plasticky, unfortunately. So what we've done, I'll start with the front. As you can see, we've added, first of all, a skull, which is quite common on sort of Mad Max and apocalyptic vehicles. The winch is actually built in, so that's kind of cool. But we did add this little sort of plate here. So if I just lift the vehicle up, you can sort of see it's just a little plastic plate that's been stuck on the front there. If we just move this round to the side, there's not a huge amount to see at the side apart from the sort of detail and the weathering. So if I just give it a little bit of zoom there, you can just sort of see sort of like the way we've added sort of the sand element. This is not airbrushed as well. This has actually all been dry brushed on top of a sprayed coating, which was just an aerosol. So we like to kind of keep the paintwork kind of minimal, just to make it look kind of more realistic. And then if we go to the back, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So again, just a bit more weathering on the spare tyre. And then what's happened here is my father has actually added this kind of contraption to the back, which is very interesting. It's kind of all made out of bits of wire, electrical wire, copper, and just little bits of metal parts that we did actually have lying around. So again, you can just sort of use your imagination and just throw anything into these vehicles. The other side is pretty much reminiscent of the other side. The only difference being there's a little bit sort of rust I've added here. The same sort of spray, sort of dry brush weathering on top of the spray. The wheels obviously, sort of weathered as well. But the interesting thing, if I just flip it to the side here, is this gun contraption on the top. Now, it did actually come with a gun, which was okay, but we've replaced that and we've used that on a different model. This is actually just made out of an old sort of pipe, bits of metal and copper parts that my father again has sort of assembled. And I think it just kind of gives it a little bit of, it gives it that interest, and it makes it look a little bit better. There is sort of detail on the inside, and I don't know if you'll pick it up from here, but I have sort of weathered the seats and the steering wheel. The seats are all sort of have that sort of weathered look. You probably won't pick it up too well on this particular video, but again, it's just a cheap model that we've wanted to sort of convert and add to the collection of the other vehicles we've got. Now, of course, the other issue that comes up and people do ask about is scale, the issue of scale. Now, we tend to work on a 1/18th scale. Two reasons. The first reason is because it's a nice scale to work on. It's big, you can see it, you can add detail, and of course, when the models, whether it be a kit or it be sort of like this, you can see the parts, you can weather them, you can, it's a nice scale to work on. And the second reason being is they are very nice to display. So if it's for your own display or you do an exhibition or something like that, they're sort of easy on the eye at that scale. Previously I've worked on 1/35th and 1/32nd scale, which is also nice, but we prefer, for these kind of vehicles just to basically go for this scale. It's just a nice scale to work on. So that's the third vehicle that we've sort of highlighted in this series. We are going to be looking at some of the slightly bigger vehicles that we did right at the very start, some trucks, things like that. So we're going to show you those in the next video. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I said at the start of the video, if you do enjoy the content, please consider liking, subscribing and clicking the notification bell for when I upload new videos. You take care folks, and we'll catch you on the next video.